Hello. Hello, Ajar. Are you there? Hello.
A section
Ajar.
CR is here.
Hello.
Sir.
You are there? Okay. So we start the session. Okay. So last class you have discussed about balancing of HP heater. LP heat is over, and thereby you have got what is the M2 value. Now let us have yes, sir. In the last class, you have made heat balancing at HP heater. That is over. Now we'll do heat balance at the LP heater. That is what exactly. Yes, sir. Yeah. So we'll go with the heat balance at the LP heater. Yes, this is the way. And here heat is lost by M2 kg of the steam is equals to heat lost by M2 kg of steam is equals to, yes sir, here what is this 1 minus M1 minus M2 kg of water heat gain by M2 kg means 1 minus M1 minus M2 kg of water. This is what exactly. This sir will go like this. And now we'll have another one. Yes, sir. What is the heat loss by M2? M2, yes, sir. It is available at P2 pressure. It is available at P2 pressure. And finally, it is leaving at P5 pressure. So the corresponding values are M2 into H2 minus H5 is equal to 1 minus M1 minus M2 into, so the entry position is 4, exit position is 5. Heat gain means H5 minus H4. This is what I get. And further, we can make it as M2 into, sir, H2. Now you can observe here. Here, I would like to enlarge this one. State 2 wet steam. So that's why we are going to have this as a wet as well as H2. We'll keep it as it is. And 5, here it is 5, it is in liquid state. So that's why it is HF5 is equals to 1 minus M1 minus M2 into, here once again 4 and 5 both are in liquid state. That's why they are, in place of H5, it will be equals to HF5 minus HF4. Here you people are supposed to get some clarity. Why H5 is made as we have our H5 is equals to HF5 plus X5 HFG5. But X5 is 0 because why it is? Yes, sir, here it is. On the liquid state, okay, as the X5 is 0, this part is going to be 0 and H5 is equals to HF5. The similar manner, okay, here also, yes, sir, this is the 4. It is on liquid state. Then actually H4 is equals to HF4 plus HF4 plus X4 HF4. But X4 is going to be 0 and this part is going to be 0 and we'll have only liquid heat. There is a point you have to keep in mind and I will erase it, sir. Yeah. So now let us rearrange this. Send M2 onto the left side. Yes, sir. Let us send all the terms of M2 onto the left side. M2, H2 minus HF5 minus M2. Once it comes to the left, it is going to positive. So this will be HF5 minus HF4 is equals to 1 minus M1 into HF5 minus HF4. This is what exactly. And then, yes, sir, here these two get cancelled. And now this is going to be M2 into H2 minus HF4 is equals to 1 minus M1 into HF5 minus HF4 and then thereby subsequent stage. Now M2 is equals to, there are some more. Okay. M2 is equals to 1 minus M1 into HF5 minus HF4 divided by H2 minus HF4. This is what exactly the way you are going to find this M2. The way you are going to find M2. In this manner, you have to get this figure. And if you want to get M2, first of all, we are supposed to get M1. To get the M1, we have to do, yes, heat balancing at HP that already have done in the last class. Sir. And so from those, we have to evaluate the values. After getting M1, M2, yes, sir, we have to go with our regular process of finding what is the WT. Okay. And now, sir, in this particular regeneration problem, we have used two heaters, LP heat and HP heater. Okay. So because of this LP heat and HP heater, yes, sir, whatever the heat produced in the boiler is not going to be fully expanded in the turbine. A part is drained out. This is called bleeding. As a result, we are not going to extract entire 1 kg of steam from boiler pressure to, what do you call it? This is the boiler pressure to condenser pressure. As a result, okay, the amount of, if you take 1 kg from the boiler, only 1 minus M1 minus M2 kg is entering into the condenser. The condenser size may be decreased in the regenerative cycle. And yes, the boiler to produce the same amount of heat, as some of the amount is for heat is used for regeneration, we need to have a bigger size of the boiler for okay, a particular amount of power production. That is the second point. And third one is, yes, sir, we are going to get improvement in the Rankine cycle efficiency, but at the same time, yes, sir, we have to invest some amount in installing these heaters. These heaters we have to install, and for that investment is there, and we have to go for cost benefit analysis. What is the benefit you have got in the form of efficiency, and what is the cost incurred for installing this one? Okay, whichever is best, that you have to go for. If the benefit is more, you go for heaters. If the benefit is less than cost, then let us not go for. And one more thing with this system is the maintenance and design of this regenerative cycle with this okay, heaters. They may be open type or direct mix type, and different types are there. Okay, there is one more criteria how to keep in mind. Okay. Now, when you come to the actual problem, yes, sir, we are not going to have two or three heaters. We'll solve a problem with a single heater. Okay, let's take an example problem. Yes, sir. And all of you, yes, take the problem, sir. Please record a problem on a regenerative cycle. Yes, sir. Ajay, okay, please. A single heater, regenerative cycle, a single heater regenerative cycle, a single heater regenerative cycle consisting a turbine, consisting a turbine, consisting a turbine consisting a turbine which gets steam, which gets steam so try to note this, okay, which gets steam at a 30 bar, at a 30 bar and 400 degrees centigrade. 400 degrees centigrade. From the boiler, from the boiler, and after expansion, and after expansion, in the turbine, steam you can also view at your screen. The problem is already there. Yes, sir. After expansion in the turbine, steam exhausts into condenser into a condenser at a pressure, not point, at a pressure of 0.1 bar full stop. The feed water heater provided in a direct contact type which operates at 5 bar. Then find the efficiency and the steam rate at the cycle. The third one, the increase in mean temperature of heat addition. The increase in mean temperature of heat addition. The average temperature increases in the regenerative cycle. That's why the efficiency will increase. Okay. So the increase in the mean temperature of the heat addition. Next, fourth one, efficiency and steam rate. Efficiency and steam rate as compared to Rankine cycle without regeneration. So this is to be done in two cases. The case one with the regeneration with a single heater at a 5 bar, and the second one is without regeneration. Then you are able to know. So difference in what is the efficiency, what is the specific steam consumption, what is the mean temperature at which heat is added. All these things will have clear idea, and we'll get the concept by solving the problem. Okay, sir. We'll go with the yes. Now, first of all, let us try to draw the figure with a single heater. Yes, sir. So this is the figure we can have, and let us now worry about what you call the various components And it is always better to draw the figure like this. And I will do one thing. I will draw once again instead of having this. So we'll go with the problem. Yeah, this is the problem now. It's a single heater, and regarding the points, no need to worry about. So where to keep points and where to keep pump and all this. First of all, let us have the boiler. It is always required to draw the a black diagram followed by TS diagram. You will get some marks for these two. Without those, we cannot proceed. They will give marks for the procedure mostly. This is the boiler. So here we are going to some loop which indicates superheater. Initially, the steam is superheated. Just a minute, sir. I will stick it further. Okay. Now, let us, now we can have a turbine. So, we shift it. We have yeah. This is the one we're going to have. Okay. Let us erase this. Yeah. We have gone to the border. Okay. Now we'll draw this figure. Not crossing this. Got some problem here. Maybe this is a pitch. Oh, got some problem in this area. Manage it one more try. Boiler, superheater, followed by yes, sir. This is the turbine you have. This is the state one. Okay. This is the state one and 1 kg. Now let us say this is the state 2. Okay. And here let us have And yes, at this position, let us take m kg. So we have got a single heater. Let us have a m, sir. And the previous case m1, m2, because you have got a 2. Okay, as of now we are not getting too many. Let us manage with a single heater and let us name it as m1. And here we can have a condenser. Let us say this is the condenser. C I'm going to write down, and this is denoted by state 3. So steam will expand like this. Here 1 kg is there, but here m kg is moving like this, and this is going to be 1 minus m kg, and then it will go to this. And now here we can have a feed water heater. I'm going to draw. I'll do one thing, sir. Yes, this is the case. And yes, sir, this is M. This is the stage 2. And sir, here we can have pump and all this. There's no need to worry. Okay, whether you keep pump or not. And after condense, this is equals to 4. Here you can have small pump. And for that, there's no need to give any additional numbers. And this is equals to 5. And then it will be fed to boiler. And here also you can have the P. But no need to give numbers. Even the textbook, they give numbers, there's no need to worry. And this will be like this. Okay, sir. It is a direct, there's no need to give the separate line, but every time you make like this only. In the textbook, okay, they may ignore because the direct contact, but whether it is a direct contact, indirect contact, you try to do like this only. And this is going to be, yes, sir, 1 minus m kg. And 1 minus m, and this is m, and this is 1 minus m, and this is equals to 1 kg. This is what I get is the corresponding figure here. So 1 kg of steam at 30 bar and 400 degrees centigrade will enter here. Yes, sir. And the entire 1 kg is expanded from 1 bar to, yes, sir. That means state 1 to state 2, that is 30 bar to 5 bar. Okay, and at this point we are going to remove mkg, and thereby we are going to have remaining 1 minus mkg is expanded from 2 bar 5 bar to 0.1 bar. There is a condenser pressure, and the condenser it will get condensed. The condensate will mix with this mkg in this heater. This is what you get is the heater, because we have got only single heater, and we'll make it as a, okay, sir, single heater. No need to say HP heater, LP heater, or something else. And they're going to mix with this, and ultimately the flow will be like this. Okay, sir. This part indicates a superheater. This is what exactly. And now we'll go with the next. Okay. Now you are not having a problem. Now let us draw the HS diagram, the corresponding TS diagram first of all. Let us draw. So for this, I'm going to draw this TS diagram. Once again, this is X. Now, initially it is like this. This indicates, yes, sir, state 1. And at state 2, this is equals to state 2, where heat are around m kg. Here is 1 kg. Here is m kg. Then this is going to be 1 minus m kg. And then this is going to be, what do you call, sir? Once again, it is 1 minus m kg. And this is 3. And this is 4. Now, let us not keep like this, sir. This includes pump work or something else. We can avoid this portion. Okay. And directly we can go with this is equals to 5. And okay, that is sufficient. Now we can draw like this also. This also. Some people may have 1 to 7 also. No need to have all these. Yes, sir. This also. Now, sir, here you can observe. Generally, if the 2 is outside this dryness fraction line, then it will be something like this. This is equals to 2, and there will be a drop is like this. And this we don't know as of now, unless you solve the problem. Yes, sir. What is the means? This equals to drop in sensible heat. This is what I get. This is going to be our TS diagram. And now we'll start with working our actual problem. Then, first of all, let us record the data. What is the data we have with us? So, first of all, pressure P1. Okay, sir. Pressure P1 we have to go for. The pressure here is, what do you call, sir? Yes. What is the pressure here? 30 bar. And what is the saturation pressure, sir? P sat 1. All of you. So you type your value in chart box. Against P1 is equals to 30 bar. What is the T sat 1? Ajar? 310. What is the value of that one? Start typing in our chart box. Ayod, are you there? Yeah, someone has typed that. Yes, sir. 329. Okay. 233.8. So 233.8. So to have this one, sir, yes, it is very simple to have this. Yeah, steam tables. Yeah, in steam tables, we have 30 bar. Superheated steam. This is correct. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, here you can see this is 30 bar, 30 degree, 30 bar, and 233.8. You can observe here. Yes, sir. This is 30 bar. Sorry. Yes. This is 30 bar and this is the 233.8 degrees centigrade. Nice, sir. And then T super 1. Because the temperature of the steam is more than this, that's why we can say that it is, yes, sir. T super 1 is 400 degrees centigrade. Now I would like to see, yes sir. Yes sir. Now the next one is we can have this what do you call, yes sir, P2. What is the P2? At which, okay sir, P2 is the pressure at which heat is steam is taken out. What is the pressure sir? 5 bar. Is the pressure at which steam is taken out to heat the speed water, and you are aware that P2 is equals to P5. Next, P3 is the condenser pressure, sir. P3 is the pressure at the outlet of turbine and also at the inlet of the condenser. So what is the pressure, sir? 0.1 bar. What is the value, sir? Is it 0.1 bar? Yes, sir. And this 0.1 bar is also equals to P4. So you have to take care about P1 is this much, P2 is this much, and P3 is this much. These things you have to keep in mind. Now, let us start drawing the molar diagram. Yes, sir. And now we have this. Okay. Let us start the corresponding values. Okay. Now, first of all, sir, let us draw the molar diagram. On this molar diagram, yes, sir, this is equals to x is equals to 1. This is H and this is S. You are supposed to draw this molar diagram, model diagram. Okay, sir. You are not in a position to show, and we are not going to attach molar diagram to your script. That's why you have to show the a rough figure of this molar diagram, how you identify all this. And here, once again, yes, sir. You try to have this P1. What is the P1, sir? Yes, sir. This is equals to P1 is equals to 30 bar. P1, this is the P1, is equals to 30 bar. And then we'll go with what you call, sir. Yes, here we can have some different color. T1 is equals to 400 degrees centigrade. Yes, sir. This is equals to T1 is equals to 400 degrees centigrade. And this intersection, you have to call it as 1 and tell me what is the H1. So this you do it, sir. In the meantime, I will try to show the same. Now, we'll try to see this. Sir, whenever you have this, yes, sir, this is the 30 bar line. This is the 30 bar line. And now you can see this is the 400 degree centigrade line. And this should be our point. This should be our point. This is named as 1. Okay? And hope you people will identify the same point. And tell me what is the corresponding H1 value. Come on, sir. What is the H1 value I got? Please type it. 329, 347, 335. These 3 people have given answers for TS1 and expecting the same from others also. Sir, please observe here. This is the 30 bar line. This is 400 degrees centigrade constant temperature line. And this is going to be our intersection point. This is our intersection point. Anybody is there? 3232.5 or something has given. Please note down. You can make it as 3230 or 3240. We are not in a position to have a percentage of 10. 3230. Nice. That is a number. Yes, sir. 47, 26, 29. And I request all the people to have the same thing, sir. I want to get it from all the people. Yes, 3230. Nice. 3230. So it is right one second. After this, sir, you try to identify the remaining 2 constant pressure curve lines. What are this? One is 5 bar. This is P2 is equals to 5 bar. And this is equals to P3 is equals to 0.1. Yes, sir, 0.1 bar. Now you draw isentropic line. So you try to draw isentropic line. So from here you draw the isentropic line like this. So why it is called isentropic lines? Here S1 is equals to S2 is equals to S3. S1 is equals to S2 is equals to S3. Okay, that's why it is called as a isentropic line. Now, if you go to this one, what you have done, sir? From one, you have drawn the isentropic line. This isentropic line and the P2 intersection point. This point, you name it as 2. This point, you name it as 3. Sir, randomly have drawn like this, but it is maybe point 2 may come in superheated extreme region. In that case, my line of this one may be not. Then it may be something like this. There's not a big issue, sir. This may be x is equals to 1. So no need to worry about all these things. Why? Because it is a rough sketch only. Okay? Yes. It may be x is equals to 1. and this maybe you can avoid. Okay, sir. And this is the state 2 and this is the state 3. And now we can have the horizontal line from here. Now you can have horizontal line from here and from here, and this is equals to H2 and this is equals to H3. And please let me know what is the value of H2 and H3. What is the H2? And what is the H3? Come on. Please let me know the values of H2 and H3. Here you can observe. Yes, sir. H22490. Yes, sir. I'll check it. What is the value of got it? Yes, sir. H22490 is not correct, sir. 2790 previously got it. Please check it. Previously I got 2790 and H3 2190. Please check it, sir, once again. 347. What is the value of H2? Simply, you have to draw the isentropic line. Yes, sir. From here, and where it cuts this 5 bar line. You check it. Whether you have intersected 5 bar or 0.5 bar. H3 2190. Okay, correct. How about H2? Yes, sir. Yes. H3. Yes, sir. 2. Yes, sir. 2190. Yes, sir. And yes, 326 has given 2790. Sir, you please check it, sir. Number 347. Yes, sir. Once again, 347. No, you are correct. No problem, sir. Okay. This what exactly? The main, sir, entire concept of the problem is to identify these points only. Okay. Please, all of you, I don't know how many people are able to identify this. Even I asked some of the people come forward to have a private session for this, but nobody has come forward. And even if one or two persons come forward, okay, sir, I will explain them in Zoom how to identify these points. All of you, please note down my number. Here I'm going to write down. Nine double 597. Okay. You can WhatsApp to me. If you have any doubt regarding identification of points on Moeller chart, okay, immediately we can schedule a Zoom meeting and I will explain you in Telugu itself. Okay, no need to worry. There is no scope for share. Okay, no need to hesitate to ask even a silly doubt also. If you do not able to identify the points on the Moeller chart, then you cannot proceed for the next sessions. Please, otherwise, if you are comfortable with your friends, okay, you contact your friends and try to, Okay, you contact your friends and try to get the clarification from them. Otherwise, you can straight away come to me. We are here to serve you. And yes, let us wind up for today. So only thing is, you try to identify what is the H2 and what is the H3. And also you tell me what is the S1 is equals to S2 is equals to S3. Means that this value. Come on, sir. In the meantime, all of you. Yes, sir. S1. What is this value? Argent axis. What is the value here? This value, please tell me. What is the S1? S1. I'm asking about S1. Yes, people are giving 2790. Very good, sir. S1 is 6.88. Nice, sir. We are going to use that also. Okay. 6.88 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. So remaining people, please try to interact with others to have the clarification. Okay. Either by video call or whatever may be. Very good, sir. But I'm getting only answers from only few people. 326, 347, like that. Only 4 to 5 people only answering. But I would like to have the answers from all the people. And for today, I will close the session. Tomorrow, instead of second hour, I will try to have the first session.